Welcome back. It's round 5. It's the last round. I'm in the booth with Ethan Bird. We're
Hello.
back. It's the last round
The best
before
round.
top 8.
Best round. Who's in, who's not? Find out.
And this is really consequential for a lot of players. Not only are we finding out who makes the top 8 of our event today, the points are going to matter for people who are on the fringes for the overall series, making sure that you make it into that top 24 because we're handing tickets out for that event tonight. So fingers crossed. We've already got our players at the table, so we're going to take you on down and we'll get started. We've got Tom Miller on the top. Zach Luxmoore back again.
Back again.
Back to back.
Luxmoore. Tremendous name. Played pretty nicely last round. Obviously it was a pretty swift match against Reanimator. Let's see if he can run it back here and snag himself a top 8 spot.
I play Blue Moon. I love seeing a Blue Moon deck do well. This is a redemption arc.
Huge redemption
Right?
arc. Also, something else you'll love. He's on 8 points.
It's on 8 points?
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh my goodness. Let's let everyone at home know that. We need to know.
So yeah, this
8
is
points.
a very similar list to round 1 where we had Rowan versus Cody. So this is a very similar list to Cody, I think. Oh no, not Cody. I told a lie.
This is probably super similar to the list I play.
Yeah.
I play an 8-point
This is your list. This is your list.
This is definitely very similar.
Kira's 8-point Blue Moon. We need to update this.
It's definitely not. If it's anyone's, it's actually probably Jin Hao Yang's. Like that's the player that I take the most inspiration from.
Yeah.
He is a very good 8-point Blue Moon player.
Tremendous.
I follow a lot of what he does. A lot of what we've seen today is making me want to play Invert Polarity as well.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. We're going to start off strong with Tamio, Inquisitive Scholar. And this was a card that gave us a little bit of hassle last game as well.
Big hassle. Does it trigger? Who does it flip back to if you don't control it?
Whose Tamio is this?
Who's Tamio? Oh, this is a very classic. Is this Legacy or Highlander? I don't know. This is crazy.
Why not both?
Yeah.
So Delver of Secrets for Tom.
Yeah, so I think if I'm in this spot, I would much rather have a Tamio, just because Tamio is going to scale better towards the later game, which this game will probably inevitably end up in. A lot of players here are just going to be trading their resources back and forth, and so getting a bunch of clues and eventually flipping the Tamio to provide extra value is exactly where you want to be.
This is, Zach going through what has been referred to me as the clue creation step.
Oh, is that a...
Renin 6.
It's a naked Renin 6, though, so there's 0 fetch lands in the bin.
Is that what we're calling a naked Renin 6?
Renin 6 without pants.
This is originally just like Karn, is it Karn Silver Golem also? Pantsless Planeswalker?
Yep. So now look, there's like 1.5 pantsless Planeswalkers in Magic. Oh, but it's going to get me with a Spell Pierce, which is really interesting.
Gonna meet a Spell Pierce.
Seems like I'm not too keen on that play necessarily, but at the same time, if Zach's concerned with the amount of non-creature spells that he will be able to hit, it's nice to just kind of fire it off and get some sort of value.
It seems really interesting to, understanding what are the creature versus non-creature threats that we can hit. Because as you said, like a Renin 6 without, a Strip Mine or a Wasteland to get back doesn't on its face seem that impactful, right?
Which Tom could definitely still have in his hand. He is playing a Wasteland as well as Strip Mine, so he's playing the package there with his points. So
this is like an anticipatory, I really don't want you to Strip Wastes me.
Yeah.
Dash Dragavan.
Dash Ragavan's going to meet a Lightning Bolt.
Ah, I see your Ragavan and I raise you. Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, it looks like Tom, however, though, is still hand looking pretty land light. So
Ponder,
which is a new Spider-Man printing. Tremendous artwork on that one.
The Spider-Man Ponder. He is thinking very hard about what he could have done differently to save his Uncle Ben. Otawara is land for turn.
Yeah, is this Tamio? I can't tell if it's 2 or 3 clues.
2 clues it looks like for Tamio.
Yep. Cool.
Clue creation step. No more combat. Clue creation.
Interesting that that Zach didn't try and push the Tamio to flip on that turn. Must have some sort of interaction in his hand.
Could be banking on, threats. Could be looking to play just a little bit more defensively. Ledger Shredder is going to be
Letter Shredder,
Next.
extremely powerful in combination with the 0 mana baubles.
Huge.
So we're going to see an Endurance hit the bin there. Start getting a flyer up. Also, importantly, if this Shredder gets one more counter on it, the Tamio will no longer be able to attack. So, yeah, it's going to be really important for Tom to either cast 2 spells next turn or kind of makes it concerning for Zach because he doesn't really want to cast 2 spells if it's going to buff the opponent's Leisure Shredder.
Main deck Pyrogoyf for
Yeah,
Zach.
get it in there. Pyrogoyf is incredibly strong. I think we had a very, very good showing a few weeks ago at the Lotus event.
Ooh, and your favorite,
Follow-up
Goblin
Guide. Oh my gosh. Goblin Guide count so high right now.
I wonder, actually, like, that would be, everyone always talks about, like, what are the most pointed cards. Let's talk about how many Goblin Guides are in the room.
At least 2.
There's at least 2.
One of them left because Ron was feeling a bit sick.
Aw, feel better, Rowan.
Yeah. Love to see it. No land on top of the deck from Zach. It's going to meet a heat, so yes. Good timing there from Zach, making sure the Goblin Guide does attack, so he gets a free trigger.
Again, timing. It's all about when you sequence your spells. Exactly, when we're fetching or we're not fetching, when we're brainstorm shuffling, when we're doing all, this is a high brain power game.
High brain power game. Magic's very hard.
Magic's very hard and we're very good at it.
Yeah, look, easy for some, hard for others. Not easy for me, but...
And it's clue creation step. Gonna go to 3 clues, and that's a pass back.
Yeah, importantly too, Zach here missing his 4th land drop, so I think these clues are going to be a little bit awkward and clunky for the time being. Obviously, if you're going to crack a clue and only have 1 mana up, you're probably not going to be able to cast a spell, so yeah, really looking for this 4th land. Importantly, looks like we just have a lot of removal spells.
Dismember. Which member?
This one.
Dismember.
So Zach going to take 4, down to 8 here, which is starting to get a little bit low. Obviously, Tom is definitely the more threat-heavy deck, and so yeah, threat-heavy deck with a little bit of burn. If he's able to follow up this turn with another, or next turn with another threat, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Zach has the answer and is able to stop some of this damage.
Brazen Borrower on...
Brazen Borrower on the Delver.
Delver.
So Delver has done a whole lot of nothing, unfortunately. Legacy player's worst nightmare, not flipping your Delver. Tom having a instant sorcery count of 25, so missing your Delver trigger in about 4 turns is pretty unlucky, but that is what it is.
We've done looks like the adventure side of Questing Druid.
Yep.
So we've exiled a Spell Pierce and a Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning, great eye.
Fool
Kira.
me once.
That's it.
Fool me once. So that's going to hit. So, ooh. That's a Wan Shi Tong.
Yeah. New avatar card. Making its way into the format.
Looks like this is in response to the Questing Druid exiling cards, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like somewhat of a miscommunication as far as what's happening between the players. Seems like Zach was saying he would have liked to do something at a given point in time, but hasn't, or who knows. But it looks like we're going to keep playing. Tom is going to surveil a island into his graveyard. And Zach just cracking one of his clues in the end step, I think. No.
Yeah, so we're just figuring out timing of when Wan Shi Tong was going on.
Where are we?
Where are we and how did we get here?
What are we doing? So yeah, this is really where Tom needs a threat. If he doesn't have a threat here, it's a pretty pivotal turn where Zach is going to start to really generate that card advantage and potentially flip the Tamio, but Tamio's going to meet the good old Chain Lightning.
So we'll put a counter on the Questing Druid for casting a red spell. Thankfully, any red or blue spell that Tom casts is going to tick that Questing Druid up.
Not colorless, though.
Not colorless. And also not when it's free.
Not when it's free. So Tom, going to take a quick look at Zach's library.
What you got on top of there? If you're Tom, are you kind of hoping it's not a land? Are you kind of hoping like, actually, yeah, you can have a,
It's one
subtlety,
of those
you
things,
know?
yeah. I like to, as a real boring answer, don't like to hope for anything. Just see what happens and then evaluate what you're doing from there. I think you do not really want to see a land, though. You'd love to see a big clunky spell like a Jace the Mind Sculptor or something that that Zach won't be able to cast at the moment.
Yeah. Love a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Love Jace the Mind Sculptor, just when you can't cast him.
Look, even if there's a treasure cruise off the top, there's not enough fodder in the graveyard from what it looks like, and there's definitely not enough lands.
Yeah, so Zach's still missing this 4th land drop. Tom untapping has a pretty big grip full and doesn't seem very land light, so you're going to see how he decides to sequence his threats here.
We're going to replay the Delver.
Replay the Delver. Zach, good guy Zach, reminds him of his Questing Druid trigger.
Very generous because he says, and then I'm going to Tidebinder you. Oh, by the way, you've got a trigger on your Questing Druid. Tidebinder.
And it seems here, again, we have potentially a slight miscommunication. Oh, we got a Daze. Picking up a Surveil land, I believe. I don't think a land's been picked up yet. Let's make sure that happens.
Yep, so we picked up the Hedge Maze.
Always feels good. Get a bit of that extra value going.
Value, value, value. It's all about the value.
So yeah, this Questing Druid should have 3 counters on it.
And it goes to 3. Beautiful. Well, look, and this is where Zach is feeling the sting of not having that 4th land drop. You can't play around Daze in that way.
Yeah, exactly right.
Or can't play around like a loose focus either.
Yeah, can't play around anything as well as you can't, represent your own spell to counter back the Daze. So, don't have a Spell Pierce. You could have one of the forces, but yeah, not having this 4th land, you're really restricting what you can do. It looks like bang, straight away, Zach is going to bolt himself and have the backside of Sinker to Stupor coming untapped.
We'll have to make sure that the life goes accordingly, because Zach should be at 1 there as well.
Yeah, 1 is, look, it's as bad as close to 0 as you can get.
1, yeah, it really is. And that's a big Pyroglyph as well.
That's a big Pyroglyph. So,
Oop.
Obviously, Zach would have preferred to not take so much life off of this land drop, but you have to get this Pyroglyph on the table to deal with this Questing Druid. Otherwise, yeah, chump blocking with your One Shing Tong is not what you want to be doing. But boom, One Shing Tong's met with a bit of heat.
Unholy heat on the One Shing Tong. If Tom's able to flip the Delver, that'll do it.
There it is, and it's
and it's flipped. And it's done.
Yeah. Sorry, he revealed Magmatic Sinkhole, and then Sinkhole kills the Pyro. Yep. I'm just not. Well,
because it flips the.
True, and then it's got flying.
It's got flying.
You're dead everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Wee.
So,
Game 1 done. Let's talk about sideboard.
Yeah, sideboarding here. Interestingly, it's really similar to the other matchups we've seen today. We're pretty much going to be looking at none of the artifact removal, no consign to memories, probably not an Ashiok from
no energy flux.
Zach's side, but from Zach's side he's got some blasts. He's got the red blast to deal with blue spells. Again though, interesting, because this is an open deck list, sometimes you just don't know how many particular number of cards you're playing in a given color from the opponent. So it'd be interesting to see how with Jimbo, I was mentioning, I think you always want 1. Whether you want 2 is debatable. However, we've got some discard outlets like Shredder and such, you can probably afford to play 2.
I think my favorite thing today has been seeing people's sideboards and realizing how much Trent is haunting the format. All of the artifact hate just feels like Trent just at home haunting the format of go on. Put 4 different pieces of artifact removal in your deck.
How much did Trent pay to say that again? But yes, no, it's very true. Yeah, you pretty much see 2 to 3 pieces of hate towards the shop decks. And obviously the shop decks had a pretty good showing at the Lotus event. Tom Bot, obviously top 8ing, Violet top 8ing as well, and then Trent being in the top 24. So yeah, great showing from those guys. And as you said, it just shows the amount of respect the other players have for the shop steps.
Which is interesting because, again, I actually don't think there's too many people here playing shops today.
Yeah, I mean, look, you do need a very important card in the name of Mishra's Workshop. And that one...
and is that an expensive card?
Yeah, that one's probably...
hard to get?
It's probably about as much as my car, so it's not,
Car, Workshop, Car,
Yeah,
workshop.
I do lean towards workshop, but you got to be responsible sometimes. But yeah, we're gonna see as well. So Tom has red blast too, and a bit of blue blast. So he's got that perfect sort of lineup of the blue blast into the exact matchup that he wants, being Blue Moon. It'll be interesting to see though how Zach goes about keeping in his Blood Moon packages. Um, Tom does have some suite of basics, so just the one forest, the one island, and I'm not sure of which angle of attack you want to go with. So there are situations where if Tom just leads off with a basic or gets both basics down by turn 3, all of a sudden your moon package looks pretty bad. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting if Zach decides to sideboard that one out, or decides to sideboard out a mixture of some of maybe the awkward interaction spells. Could be boarding out, say, Stern Scolding or Mana Leak, a Loose Focus maybe, or maybe I guess you still really like the creature package. All of Zach's threats do seem to still line up quite nicely.
Well, and it's hard as well because you think about when you take cards out, you have to put cards in, and there may not be enough cards in your sideboard that you actually want to put in.
Yeah,
and so you're at risk of like detracting from your original game plan to your own detriment just because, well, it didn't work in this game, so I got to take it out. And it's like, there's a chance that it's actually fantastic for the next match. Like, well, pump the brakes.
Yeah, I think that's the exact reason as to why deciding what to take out is harder than what to put in.
Yeah.
But here we have the players looking like both players keeping 7 here for game 2. Zach leading us off with a Polluted Delta. Nice foil one as well.
I was going to say it's sparkling on the camera.
And again, so it's the third time in about an hour I've seen Zach play Temur Tamio.
Everybody's best friend.
Yeah, everybody's best friend. I would really like to see Zach sort of push towards flipping the Tamio this game. Because once the Tamio gets flipped, it's actually pretty awkward for the Temur deck to deal with it. Obviously, the Temur deck is still playing some burn spells, but you need more than one to hit a flip Tamio. So, yeah, we'd like to see that prioritized here.
Do you think there's a world in which Tom brings a consign to memory in to stifle the flip trigger?
Oof. I mean, yeah, it sounds great in theory, but I think in the nature of Highlander and just the odds of the cards lining up in such a way, you probably wouldn't like to do it.
Yay, this is my favorite spell on coverage.
Gataxian Probe is my favorite spell of all time. It is a card I fell in love with when every time I saw John Finkel play Gataxian Probe, he won the game. So I went, right, this is now my favorite card.
This is fantastic.
Ooh, we're going to bolt the Tamio.
We're moving so quickly here.
Perfect answer from Tom's side.
We went Bauble, Probe, Wooded Foothills, Lightning Bolt. Easy.
Yeah.
That feels like a sprint start.
Easy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that feels like a nice off the block.
Clean dive.
Yeah.
Not a lot of splash.
And I think the pace of these games can be so interesting. Like looking at their graveyards just now on each of their turn ones, 2 cards in graveyard versus 4 cards in graveyard.
Yeah, it's just really just highlights the efficiency of the format and the efficiency of vintage level Magic. Looks like really Zach missing a red source, I believe.
Looks like he's missing a red source. He's got a Mystic Sanctuary in hand.
Yeah.
Scythe Cat Club.
Scythe Cat Club.
Ooh.
Also, importantly, that is coming off of an island played by Tom on turn 2. So if Zach is able to line up a turn 3 moon effect, it's not going to be as good as it could be. But here we're seeing an end step brainstorm, I believe.
Now, you're a big proponent of timing your brainstorms properly.
It's one of the key indicators for me as far as when you are evaluating players and such. Look, it's a very, very, very powerful card, but what often comes with very, very powerful cards is an extremely high level of difficulty. And yeah, but brainstorm here, importantly, it's hit Zach's red source, which is exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. And this is just a pass back. Is this another Tidebinder? Passing back 3 open, counterspell?
Yeah, I think Tidebinder or something like that would be, or a Flame of Anor, but Wasteland.
Is that a Wasteland?
Yeah, it's the ultimate.
It is the Eternal Masters.
So we've wasted the Steam Vents, floated a red, went to bolt the Scythe Cat, and Tom has the Blue Blast to stop that one. But it looks like Zach is thinking on this. He could potentially have a... Looks like he's got a red blast of his own. So that is... Oh,
That's
I've been in this
so
seat too many times.
unfortunate.
When I'm staring at my red blast and I cannot cast it, it is infuriating.
It's going to be a consult the star charts in response instead. We're just lining the stack up so we can resolve everything in order.
Yeah, which I think too is interesting that Zach didn't think about casting the consult in response to the wasteland, just to see that extra card.
Because it counts. So consult the star charts, really fantastic.
Yeah. And with most of his hand probably being known, seeing that extra card could have been pretty critical.
Yes. So consult the star charts. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. Float the red. Cast the consult.
I think this card,
look at 3.
This card is secretly underrated. Whilst it is, people have been, well, people are quite aware, obviously, of how powerful it is. Look, when you're spending 2 mana on like turn 8 to basically look at 7, pick 1, it's like, ooh, I'm living. And also the kicker cost, right? Like you pay the kicker cost, all of a sudden you're in the realm of like stock up and dig through time and those types of elite cards.
Yeah.
But,
very good on rate.
So yeah, Tom firing off a preordain, looking for most likely a land himself. So both players seeking the first home buyer's grant at the moment. Looking for more land.
When it feels like, we have these it feels like the pace is very, 100 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Kilometers. I'm sorry, I'm letting my American background show. 100 kilometers an hour, 20 kilometers an hour.
These guys,
100 and then 20.
These guys aren't in the miles per hour just yet.
Yeah.
We're still in the Ks. But
because it feels like we go really, really quickly. We battle these things out on the stack, and then the pace slows down. We're trying to get lands.
Yeah.
And then we're battling out for really important pieces on the stack, and then we're slowing down again.
Yeah, it's often what I like to refer to as the League of Legends game of Magic, where you spend a lot of time setting up, getting your land drops, casting your cantrips, maybe dealing with the first threat or two, just 1-for-1 trading. Then all of a sudden you have this big stack with 4 or 5 plus cards on it, and then you sort of reset after that big fight. Especially too because of all the the efficiency of all the interaction. A lot of interactions 0 mana, 1 mana. Yeah, you're going to see these turns on turns 4 or 5 where 4+ spells are just cast.
Zach's Cat Cub is just going to keep on scratching away at Zach's life total.
Yeah, this is going to be, looks like it's starting to be a bit of a problem for Zach if he doesn't find a removal spell for this cat. Obviously the cat scales really, really well. And key thing here for Tom as well, he's got both of his basics out. So whilst Hardbringer is still going to be quite effective, that will shut off red for Tom. All the actual factual Blood Moon effects are pretty weak here.
What I do see in this situation, though, is that now every future land that Tom draws, if there is a Blood Moon or a Flood Moon effect, is not effective anymore.
Yeah.
It's great to have your basics out now before that effect resolves, but there's also a detriment to it as well, right? There's also you don't have a safety, pressure relief valve of now you've got 3 fetches in hand, staring down a Flood Moon, and you're like, great.
Yeah, and it can be awkward too. I mean, we've seen from Zach's side, because of his lands that he had on the first couple of turns, he wasn't able to cast that Red Blast that was just sitting in his hand. So whilst you have untapped mana, your colors don't line up as well. And that thing can happen on Tom's side too, where if you're looking at double spell, but what if the 2 spells you want to cast both have red pips, for instance, in this case, and you're not able to cast them. But I think you're willing to sacrifice that in order to just play around the moon effects.
That's an endurance targeting Zach's graveyard.
Yeah, so after Kira's favorite card, Chain Lightning kills the cat, and endurance hits the table.
Is this a Pyrogoy?
Yeah, or Jace.
Jace would be sick right now.
Yeah. Another one of Kira's favorite cards.
Personally, I love Jace.
I love Jace too. Jace was one of the cards I lost a lot to in my early days of Magic.
So instead we're buying Lutri. So it was the red for the Chain Lightning, and then the 3 blue for the Lutri.
Yeah, which is gas. I mean, thankfully for Zach, Tom only has 1 threat. And so this Lutri, if this Lutri does hit the table and cast 2 spells, it's probably going to put Zach ahead on board. But notably, it is down to 6, and 6 is the range where you start to potentially get burnt out. However, Tom's already played a Lightning Bolt, so as long as he doesn't find a... Is he playing Price of Progress? So Price of Progress at the moment does almost kill, but... Well, here we go. As you said before, here was this big
fighting on the stack. So we had Expressive Iteration, was it Pyroblast, and then Blue Blast.
Yeah, a lot of blasts.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Started blasting.
And this is interesting as well. So we've got the land one, exile the land, always the correct option in my opinion. And I believe that's a Fury that got put to hand.
Yeah, Fury really nice. So
hey, Fury loves the look of an Endurance, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. Big decision here though for Zach is he willing to go down to 3 and hard cast the Fury next turn? I'm not super inclined to do that, but looks like he is.
It seems so risky. And Zach has his own Pyroblast in hand.
Yeah, so also importantly too, there's no 3rd red source. So if Zach is going to hardcast his Fury on the following turn, he's not going to be able to have the red blast to hold up against the counterspell.
Unless it looks like there's one maybe Flooded Strand in hand, and that
we've already the Steam Vents has been shuffled back. Yeah, so after the Steam Vents was wastelanded on an earlier turn, but it is shuffled back.
But the Endurance shuffled it in.
Yeah, but if Zach goes down to 3 off of this attack, he cannot fetch and shock. That is the price you pay for playing 8 points.
Lutri Daze.
Hardcast Lutri and Daze once again is going to get Zach pretty nice here. But also importantly, this is reducing the likelihood of Tom having a counterspell for the Fury.
Yeah.
And so whilst Zach does go to 3, the Fury should be safe here.
And so Flooded Strand, so that does take off Fetch Shock.
Yeah, so the Flooded Strand is going to definitely have to get the Steam Vents at the end of turn. But at the same time...
Here comes Fury. Really and it doesn't look like Tom has an answer in hand. It looks like that's a Red Blast, a Bone Crusher Giant, and a Quarry Steelcutter.
This could be the swing. So we could be pretty much in the position where Tom needs to draw his Chain Lightning or Removal Spell or a Pyroglyph or a Quarry Steelcutter.
So Quarry Steelcutter is in hand. We have a Red Blast and a Bone Crusher Giant.
Yeah, so Stomp the Face, I assume. Yeah, so Zach is going to go to 1. Now notably cannot activate his Fetch Land.
Yeah.
Going to create a Monk token with the Quarry Steel, of course. Quarry Steel, a real mainstay in Highlander now. I think a lot of different, all of the red-based mid-range decks are basically playing it. Just because, again, with the efficiency of each spell in Highlander, pretty much most turns you're just able to cast 2 spells.
Yeah. Again, as you said, like with things like the baubles, with your free spells or your Gataxian probes, like you're able to so easily trigger Quarry Steelcutter, even easier than you were able to trigger it in Standard when it was a force, right? Yeah. And that was already fantastic in Standard when you were paying full price for all of your spells.
Yep. And as we see, just to pass the turn.
There's an Unholy Heat in hand for Zach.
Yeah, so it looks
like... Submerge, it looks like, is the other blue card.
Yeah, which is not great here. What is really frustrating for Zach is that he's going to have to keep this Fury back on attacks in order to block the Bone Crusher Giant. Because if he targets the Bone Crusher Giant, he's just going to die.
Yeah. And then... So submerge the Ragavan.
Submerge the Ragavan. Ragavan's on top. Now we're going to heat the Monk token that isn't blocked to not die. So look, honestly, if didn't catch the last card that Tom has in his hand, but if that's a blank, I kind of don't mind Zach's spot here.
Which is, I think it's insane to say that in a position where you're looking, staring down like 14 and 1, right?
Oh no, sorry, I've misspoken. Oh, we're going to draw 2? Okay, maybe. But, so importantly with Quarry Steelcutter, it gives Trample.
Oh,
And you know who we
okay.
give trample to?
Yeah.
Our big dumb giant.
Big giant
And
bone crusher
so-
giant.
And importantly, that will put its toughness to 4, so the giant won't die in first strike combat.
Yep, very important. The +1/+1 is sneaky on Corey Steelcutter.
Really sneaky. Back to basics.
Okay. So
Wow, so there's no red source being able to be untapped here, which is huge.
that's so pivotal. So Tom's lost all of his red sources here.
Yes.
Which means, so we're gonna, he looked like he was gonna equip the Corey Steelcutter to the
And then
Bone
he's
Crusher.
just realized, oh, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
But
Well, so what makes him stop? What makes him stop from doing that? He's got.
oh, it requires a red.
Oh, it's one in a red
Yeah,
to equip.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
No, it is fair.
Okay.
Looks like though there's just a hard cast counterspell on a Zaz Chocobo.
How do you pronounce that?
Zaz?
Zaz?
I'm not a Final Fantasy
I am not either.
dude myself. However, I love this card, so please forgive the mispronunciation, but at the same time,
I need to find this
I respect the
Chocobo.
card. It's not a golden Chocobo.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
It's
here
a
we
little-
go. Zach has unfortunately staring down a volcanic island from Tom's side.
Ooh.
But importantly, Tom's cast the Ragavan with the red.
Okay.
So opting to,
And we're gonna sink the Ragavan.
yeah, this is where
Sink on the
don't know
Ragavan because
if-
now the volcanic island doesn't untap.
yeah, I'm not too sure if that was the best option.
Would you have equipped the Corey Steelcutter to the giant?
I think so. So whilst the Sinker to Super play does still allow Zach to survive, it does actually it doesn't really make any difference here. Maybe the Ragavan is better into specifically Sync because if the Corey Steel is bounced, it's going to be a lot harder for you to re-equip it
Okay.
because then you're going to need to have 2 red mana eventually. So Sync kind of a real perfect card there.
I am so incredibly impressed with having stabilized at 1 point.
Yeah, this is really dicey. Although Tom, once again, finds a red source, so we're gonna have to see an answer come out.
Do we
from
have
Zach.
anything that we need to worry about in terms of Lava Spike, Shock?
We do. We do have Price of Progress.
Ooh, Pop would be lethal.
We also have a Chain Lightning that should still be in the deck. I'm not sure if Chain Lightning was sideboarded out potentially though. But we'll.
So, it looks like we fetched a Thundering Falls, which will still enter.
Yeah, so I
Tap.
think I just had a quick scan of the deck list and wasn't fast enough to mention, but I think, yeah, Tom has run out of untapped red sources, which is huge.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
So no untapped red sources mean unless there's a way to bounce or destroy the back to basics, that is it for red.
Well,
we can call this Simic midrange.
We spoke way too soon. Once again, there's a Carpet of Flowers.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, one of the most played sideboard cards in the format. That can create any of color of mana you like.
Oh, it can create any color, X-Men of up to 1 color. See, in my head, let me tell you, I thought it was specifically green mana.
Yeah. And looks like Zach is trying to Red Blast a Red Blast, which we unfortunately cannot do.
Unfortunately, you cannot red blast. You know, it's like the rock, paper,
Actually,
scissors.
Oh, so there's one where you can target it, but then it checks if it's the color upon the resolution. And I think that's the Pyroblast and Hydroblast though, so it's okay. So Tom doesn't accidentally Zach doesn't accidentally stooge himself there. Yeah, that's a really interesting one if you didn't know. You can, Pyroblast can target anything,
But then it
will
just checks. Yeah. Okay.
A little bit silly, something that probably was missed in the 90s, but
So the red blast is going to destroy that back to basics.
yeah, which is huge here. But
Huge.
also,
The carpet also big.
yeah, I think I kind of like leaving the Red Blast in your hand still to try and combat any potential counter spells that Zach might have looming in his hand. You have the carpet now, so like wait for Zach to answer the carpet before doing something was probably my preferred line of play.
Unless the reason that you want red is you want instant speed red, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
Because if you only care about main phase red, then carpet's perfect. But
Instant speed red, best red.
Yeah.
But yeah, also here too, like even if Zach is able to answer the carpet or answer the Corey Steele. He's got not a lot of other action going on. The Fury needs to stay back, and so without any sort of clock, Tom's just given on too much time here.
Yeah, and that's going to be 6 mana of any color should Tom choose, which I have a feeling he
So
would
many
choose.
islands. Let's count them up.
Yes, that looks like 6 to me.
Count them up. Count them up.
So is there a world in which, it was previously Zach's turn, just plays a land for turn pass. Is there a world where you don't, just to not give your opponent that extra mana on their main phase?
Yeah, I think though, importantly, I saw there's a Force of Will in Zach's
So you don't
hand.
want a full pace.
So yeah, you want to be able to fully spend all your mana. Full dollars, no sales here. And then
No Black Friday deals.
no Black Friday.
Moloch.
Morlock, another tremendous Highlander card.
I love seeing Universes Beyond cards.
Yeah, Morlock was one of the first sort of Universes Beyond cards
Yeah.
that made its way into Highlander.
I feel like the road went Moloch, pre-war formal wear, Deadpool.
Yep. Is this a
Spider
Spidey
Sense.
which is a card that Kira bought during the week, and I was giving them a
You
lot
were
of flack
so
for.
disappointed in me.
But looks like here it's looking pretty good. But we do see the Red Blast coming out of Zach's hand. Also, too, looks like Zach maybe a little bit not as clean as we would like. Doesn't leave his red-blue duel untapped. Hopefully, yeah.
That will do it.
Too much damage on the board. Look, the Corey Seal triggering from that little counter war means that, yeah, Zach's able to not stop as many creatures as he needed to.
Well, that's going to be our round 5 here at Plenty of Games for the November Open Series. We're going to update our standings as soon as we have our top 8, and we'll start working on getting all of our participating players' points updated, the rest of our top 16 updated, so that we can present to you our top 24 by the time that our top 8 is finished. We will be back shortly for quarterfinals.
Awesome.